Hello.
Let's go. We are
There
here.
she is.
Hello, everyone. Hi. We're back here. Another month, another guest.
But it's all familiar faces though.
Yeah, this time we have very, very familiar faces. And Paula, maybe you can start.
Yeah, maybe you guys all are thinking like why we are not already adding somebody else to the live, but today is a very special episode of the series that we've been always sharing other people's stories, but we haven't really dwelled into our own. So we thought, you know what? Maybe we could share a little bit of our own journeys. And today we're going to start with our own Alexa. So we're gonna, pick your
Yeah.
brain a little bit today.
Hey, and
Okay.
maybe we'll hear some stories you guys don't even know from all
I'm
your
I'm really
years
looking
of
forward to actually.
friendships.
Exactly. So, Alexa, I'm gonna make an introduction for you as we always do for our guests. So,
Wow.
uh, so Alexa is the brains of HerTake, and why we're able to actually share so much information with our audience. If she doesn't know something, she will find a way how she will learn it, or if she hasn't done something in her life yet, she will find a way how to do it. She's just an amazing woman, and I honestly haven't seen anybody like a woman like this in my life. This is one and only Alexa.
Wow.
She's so smart, driven, intelligent, sophisticated, and on top of all of that, an amazing athlete. So this, like, we don't know her maybe full story, and hopefully we'll find some new information for us as well. But I know all of you listening, you know parts of her career, but you don't know the depth of it. And hopefully today we go into deeper little details about Alexa, and it's gonna be a great live. So hopefully you stay tuned. If you have any questions, ask them. So, Alexa, well, I need to tell you again, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Stop. I did not expect this introduction. Man, I'm blushing. Look at this.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you started to play basketball. Yeah.
Yes, so again, thanks for introduction. By the way, they did all the scenario this time. I had no clue what was coming up. But yes, so where do we start? I think so. I'm pretty much from a basketball slash handball slash athletics basket family. And yeah, my family has always been, fond of sports. My grandpa was a big handball player in the Soviet Union. My mom was a basketball player. My dad, a player and then a coach. And so I've kind of always been around sports. And when I was growing up, always went to my dad's practices, just, dribbling on the side, watching how the boys, are practicing and all that. And so I kind of, grew to like basketball. And around when I was 9 years old, my dad brought me to Riedene, best Riga centers, where we all grew up and kind of learned our ways in basketball. And yeah, I just, kind of fell in love with it, and that's where the story started.
Do you think that because your family was so like involved in sports and basketball specifically, you think that helped you a lot? Because also your sister now plays basketball. So, like maybe how is that like that you're like you see your sister, who is actually your little twin, growing up and going through the basketball life and everything? Like how is that like? Does it help that your family is so supportive?
I think yeah, yeah, definitely. Like when I was little, like being around basketball, like that. I think that was the only thing only sport that I kind of knew. Besides, I mean, in kindergarten you do like swimming, you do karate, all these other things like folk dancing and everything, but nothing stuck, you know. But basketball kind of always stuck. And I think, yeah, especially Amy now growing up. my parents have traveled to the European Championships and just coming to national team games and everything. And she's always been around. So I think for her, of course, I can't talk about of her, but I think it's kind of the same that she has been around for around basketball for so long and so much that that she also wants to experience how it is.
I feel like as she grows up, like she looks more and more like you, for real.
Exactly.
Before I
She's
was
just
like,
more pretty. She's just more pretty, I'd say.
no,
What?
you
No way.
you
You're
guys are
both.
both gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
And you know, we all were going to the States in the end, but like your international journey started way earlier, actually. At 15, you went to Italy. Why did you take that decision?
Wow. So yeah, at 15. 15 is like if I look at my sister now, when she was 15, she's 16 now. Like I don't understand how my parents were like, yeah, like that's a great idea to send a 15-year-old to another country. But um yeah, so after I think a year older with 99s when I went to the U16 championship, after that I came back and I had a couple offers from Italy. And one of my mom's close friends from her playing days, she was on one of the teams. And my mom was like, just trying to get more information, understand how it is, like if there's going to be somebody who could take care of her there also, and just having a safe person there is also was also very important for my family. But yeah, I left the house at 15, went to a small city called Ancona, and man, I grew up. I had to learn how to become independent. One thing for sure when going to these types of clubs and situations, like you have a person coming in doing grocery shopping for you and cooking lunch and dinner for you. So at least I didn't have to cook, but like cleaning the house, washing dishes, doing laundry, and actually putting out the laundry. That was something. But I think my biggest thing that I learned there, one is independence, and the second thing is just knowing how to be with myself, because you're alone most of the time. And being a pro, like right now, like, okay, we're used to this, but at 15, I was always around, I was practicing with the big team, and I was kind of always around older people. So you're just I had to learn how to do it. I have to learn how to, after maybe not so good days, just kind of regroup and not dwell on not the good practices or good games and all that. So I think it was the biggest thing. So yeah, and then my second year I went to Venice, and yeah, so all through these 2 years, I was learning Italian. Oh my God, learning Italian. My first year, I actually went to an Italian school, which is crazy. I had
Okay,
to
that's what I wanted
learn.
to ask because I know you were studying remotely. Like,
Yes, I initially went to Italian school, which was like they call it like Liceo Scientifico, which is like a science-based. Like in high school you got to choose the two ways, but I couldn't do the language way because you would have to know Latin for that.
oh,
So Latvian is not anywhere near Latin, and I don't know Italian. So okay, so we go the math way. And when I tell you the first 3 months, I didn't, I mean, I went to school, I just sat there in silence, like some people were trying to talk to me in English, but I mean, my English was pretty decent, but you know how Italian, no offense, Italian people, but you know how you guys are with English, it's a struggle. So the first 3 months and up until like I started to kind of like pick up on some words and kind of answer at least something in Italian. Like, I was just sitting there. But then I went home around for Christmas and I told my mom, I was like, we need to do a remote school in Latvia because otherwise I will not graduate. And
Yeah.
that's not what we want to do.
But you ended up learning pretty good Italian, right? Till to this day.
Yes, yes. I'm so grateful. Like definitely, I'm so grateful that I was pushed to learn, you know. And it was like this that by the end of my first year, I was pretty fluent. I was pretty fluent in Italian. Then over the summer, I kind of lost it a little bit. But then I went back and I was, back to it, as my teammates would say, like they warmed me up. They warmed my ice cold Latvian heart up, and I was back to being kind of Italian. So yeah, that's like, and just gaining friends, there. So a language and friends and kind of like Italian family.
Oh, okay, so you got more like from, the environment, the people around, or where you're just studying more also, and maybe music helped. I know, like, we need to put in the fact that, your touch for a Spotify playlist is like godly. So did music help there, or did you watch movies, or it was just that because really nobody else spoke English with you, so you had to learn?
Uh, I mean, let me tell you, Italian people love their Italian music, but they love the reggaeton. So in,
Spanish.
little gatherings, we would listen to reggaeton or like old Italian classics. But I did have like individual lessons, Italian lessons. So that plus the fact that I had to speak and I had to, just communicate and understand and practice in Italian, that's really push you because imagine like you go, I don't know, like you just go and nobody, speaks good English, or like for you to be on a team
Mhm.
at that age, to feel that you belong there and kind of feel that you're, a part of a team, I think it's very important to know the language. So being in the environment really pushed me to learn it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, okay, so you had all this experience and you were kind of on the way to go to play pro. I feel like we all were thinking like you're probably gonna right away go to play pro and like you're already in Italy, you know. So why did you and how like did the recruiting process to NCAA like came to your mind and why did you wanted to go do that route?
Yeah. Listen, at that point, I thought I was going to go pro too. But, things change. And I had an opportunity to go to this camp, NBA Basketball Without Borders, during my second year in Venice. Um, and to kind of, when I went there, I went to New Orleans, and it was great. The way the American basketball is, and the facilities and everything, it was just great. And like all my since I was like 10, 11, like I learned that there's an opportunity to get a scholarship and go to America. So it kind of was my dream the whole time. But then I went to Italy, and uh, it was like, okay, but there's another opportunity to go pro right away and get a university degree while still being pro, because there's not one or the other. You can't go pro and still learn. But
Yeah.
the thing is that um, I was offered a 4-year contract after my year in Venice, and
Wow.
not gonna lie, that scared me. That scared me a lot, because 4 years is a long time. And
I mean, college is also 4 years.
yes, yes, but I think at that time I was feeling more that I wanted to go to America.
Mm.
And at least because if you sign the professional contract, you can't go to America, as we know, right?
Mhm.
So, but if I go and try NCAA, see how it is, then, I mean, if I don't like it, I can come back.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So I said no to the contract. And for my last year of high school, I came back to Riga, and which is actually there's a story there that I had issues because there was an agreement before between the both teams and the both Italian teams that first year an unreasonable amount of money will be paid for me, and then the second year the rest of it will be paid. So I, as a 17-year-old who hasn't really done anything but to play for their country and just how I say nowadays, living la vida loca, there were business deals going behind my back. And once I came back to Riga, there was a situation that I couldn't play for 6 months because
That's crazy.
I didn't have that type of money to pay the first team. And so as a 17-year-old, I had some people who helped me out, but as a 17-year-old, I had to go through FIBA court, to get at least some kind of other option. And which I did get, and around January, I could start playing the Latvian league, and at least that got settled. But yeah, that was a stressful moment for me for sure.
Do you
It's
think like
terrible.
FIBA courts are useful? Are they helpful to the players?
I mean, absolutely. In my situation, absolutely. In my situation, absolutely, because the unreasonable amount of money was reduced to an okay amount, which I then had to pay back during my rookie year off of my rookie salary, which is
And
still
that's
crazy.
like 4 years after the fact.
4 years after the fact,
Wow.
which is still crazy. But listen, now we have a clean slate, and now, I can start focusing on my next steps and the growth.
Yeah, it's crazy that people will like take advantage of kind of like that's why I think this is another reason why we are doing what we do, because we want to share that information with players, because there's so many things that we don't know before we like make decisions. And because we have had such a different experience, each of us, I feel like we already can tell so much, and then there's other people who can tell even more. So this community helps a lot if players really want to listen. So yeah, but yeah, it's crazy that you had to go through that as such a young kid. Like I feel like all the parents or anybody who would be listening right now would think like, oh, my 17-year-old would have to do all this, like they would be going crazy. Like, and it's true. Like,
I mean, at the
But
end of the day, it is an industry, So it's sports industry, but it's still, we are younger when we enter it, when we
yeah,
are preparing for it when we are children, and then when we go into it, it's like really like contracts and all these things. So when you are aware of it and when you have good people around you that you trust, I think it's all good. And I think when
that's
you know your
yeah,
options, about, knowing your priorities about education, your things outside basketball, that's what we're trying to share, then maybe it is a little bit scary and there can be situations, but there's always way out of them, Most
yeah,
likely somebody else has dealt with the situation what you are in right now. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay, so now we forget about all this negativity that has happened, and you have got to America. Like your first year, tell us what you're feeling. Like you got to America, Indiana, you have chosen a school. Like what's happening?
What's happening? First of all, I want to mention, like, it's funny because Indiana was like my one of the last schools that started recruiting me.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, went on a visit, and I knew that it was gonna be my home.
Did you
So
go to
now
any
I've
other
got,
visits?
sorry,
Did you go to any other visits?
I went to Indiana and Colorado State.
Mm.
Yeah. While I couldn't play, while I was still in the process of getting my license back. So that's a good thing because when the team was traveling, I could go, to visit in America. But yes, so I get to America, and it's I'm looking at these facilities. I'm looking at all the foods in the grocery store and everything. I just want to try everything. I believe you guys have the same experience, and
Yeah.
you're just so overwhelmed with everything you have to do and all that. And I arrived pretty late for my freshman year because we had the national team, and I missed the freshman. What is it?
Orientation.
Orientation.
Orientation. I missed the freshman orientation. I missed everything, and so my academic advisor wasn't even sure that I was gonna make it. Like they're gonna allow me to enroll in my classes for the first day I got there.
Mm.
But she got the yes like 10 minutes before the class started, and then she drove me to the class because we're not skipping class. And but yeah, this was my first year was kind of like a reality check. Definitely. When you go from like a European, let me tell you, I was pretty comfortable in Europe. Let me tell you, I was pretty comfortable in Europe. I think a lot of talented players feel that, but I think going to America was kind of like a reality check for me because lifting, running like that, I have never ran in my life as much, you know, and then school on top of it and study hall. I mean, you guys know, like everybody who's gone through America knows that. Um, so, and then you have there's still kind of this hierarchy because you're a freshman coming in, you're nothing. Like nobody cares about you. And so my first year, yeah, like you have preseason, all this running and everything. And I think the pre-conference season was pretty good for me. Like I was playing pretty decent, but then once the conference started, uh, my booty was on the bench, guys, and and I was really, really upset about it. I was crying. I don't know, like I could not deal with it because all these years prior, I was playing, coaches were trusting me, and there's some yeah, like everything was positive, I was like the center of attention on the team. But then you go there, obviously it's kind of like leveling up, as you gotta find different ways to kind of succeed and everything. And so,
And you did. So you
and
find a way.
yes, I didn't give up, and found my ways. And, you know, towards the end of my college careers, my teammates were amazing. We grew so close, and it was a great experience at the end of my college career.
Did you have any other Europeans on your team?
My first 2 years, I was the only one. Then my third year, we had one, and then by my senior year, we had uh, it was three of us.
Okay, okay. Because
Yeah.
I never knew about this, but I knew you were close with your teammates. You even went to a wedding. You know, we are entering that
Yes,
time.
yes, yes. Yeah, one of my teammates who graduated when COVID hit. Yeah, we've been through so much, and love you, Brenna. Yeah.
So you got to with your team, you got to Elite Eight, then you went to the training camp, and like all that stuff like happened. Like, what are your like? What do you think about America? Like, and how did it help? And like, did and also like we have a little like a side question. Like, did coffee help in all of that? When like because you love coffee now so much, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, coffee definitely helped, in the moments when I was sad, it was definitely by me. It was my reliable source of energy and warmth, and like, it's like a hug in a mug. That's what people say.
Now we
Hmm.
even
And
have our
Spitting
merch.
bars
Uh,
here.
yeah, buy our merch. Just saying a coffee break. We have it. Like it's part of us. See, like that's why we have it.
part of our
Shameless plug.
culture. Exactly. But listen, if I would I do it again? Probably not. But to look throughout all those 4 years at Indiana, I can tell you that I they did raise my physicality, my level of conditioning, my athleticism. So, and just everything, just understanding of the game. And because also because of my freshman year, coming in as a sophomore, I felt like I was gonna play a lot, but then in the beginning I didn't. And then I sat down, and I was like, wow, like how can I get myself on the court more? And so I was like, okay, what can be my kind of like a weapon? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna play defense. I'm gonna play defense like nobody ever played defense on the court. And that's literally what got me on the court. And my junior and senior year, I feel like it was I played 40 minutes because I could defend a pick and roll, because I could help be on the help side, because I can talk on defense. And based on that, you know, if you play defense and you're playing 40 minutes, you also have opportunities on the offense. So, because of that and because of the trust that coaches had in me, like I could, make a further step and maybe be more efficient in offense. And then, some people caught eye from the training camp from and
Yeah.
were confident in giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we just actually watched the WNBA, but and you had the experience in the training camp, going pro right away. You went to Avenida, which was the top, still, one of the top teams in Spain, then Zaragoza. You always seem to surround yourself with greatness. Do you think that has helped you find more opportunities for growth, or do you think you were just lucky?
I definitely think that I was lucky in a sense. But also at the same time, man, like coming in as a rookie to play with Avenida, when I got that offer, I was like, I'm in like Perfumerias Avenida, like what are you talking about? Because they had just come from like a yearly Final Four run, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, they want me on their team? That's crazy. But it was a great journey, and definitely meeting people who have achieved a lot in their lifetime and still, giving such have these amazing personalities and still play the game at the highest level was an honor. And I could, first of all, to be friends with them, and the Spanish legend Sylvia Dominguez, shout out to her. And Bridget Carlton coming in from the she's great person. You see these people on the court, but once you're around them and everything, like they're completely different people, and I learned so much from them.
Yeah, because usually, people try to like work their way up, with the clubs and having the role and all this.
Hmm.
Girl, you jumped right to the top.
Okay, but it's a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you have still so much to learn to adapt to that level, right? So there were hard days and good days, but obviously you remember the good days with the team.
And what did you like about Spain?
Patatas bravas, tapas, the music, all of it.
Honestly, yeah,
You
same.
feel me? You feel me?
Tortilla, tortilla, that's my comfort food still today. Even if
Yeah.
I buy it in France in Little, don't judge me, all the Spanish people, but when I buy it from Little, it's still the best.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Okay, so now you have got to Hungary, DVTK, Miskolce. How has the year been?
Well, it's been a long year, ups and downs for sure. I think my team can agree with that. Being in EuroLeague, then, there's this new format, and then not making out the group sucks. Then make it to the second round of playoffs in Euro Cup,
Hmm.
not making out of that. and then focusing on Hungarian league. I think, you learn from everything, but I think my team has stayed so resilient and so kind of in Zen mode this throughout this whole year, and I think that's really necessary. And now we've made it to the finals, so I think we've done something, but the job is still not done.
Exactly. Yeah. First game over, but you have at least three more to go.
Exactly, exactly.
In the first round. Yeah. So yeah, really, really exciting. Actually, both of the girls are playing playoffs right now, so I am super hyped right now, being at home already. But but yeah, super nice to see my girls still playing and kicking some asses. And hopefully I can watch it for another month. So keep going.
You mentioned the your team being in a Zen mode. Is it because of you? Because you're reading all these philosophical books and all the chakras? We have this ongoing joke about me trying to uh, give Alexa some sci-fi recommendations for movies and books, and she gives me back the uh, brain motivating books.
Um, it's I think it's just a combination of everybody because I swear you're laughing at me, but my whole team is like that. I swear. I
Then you
swear. So
found your
we have a
place.
lot to talk about.
Okay, yeah. Like I feel like you're always like reading the books. Is there like a reason why you prefer like the philosophical books more than like other books like novels and everything? Like well, obviously like I like seeing how you operate in life. We can see it like actually like does something and you like are super motivated and growing a lot. So I mean, like, there's no really question in that, but like, why did you maybe start to read these books, you know?
Why did I start read these
Or
books?
like, why maybe there was like a turning point, like that you were like, just like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the journey in America was kind of, initially it was so tough that I had to find kind of like inner force, I would say, like inner power to keep myself zen and trusting the process and keep going no matter how hard it is, type of thing. And there's I think like a saying that goes like, when it's gonna hurt, like you're gonna make the choice to change. And I keep it in the best possible way. Like we're not being negative right now. Like I'm saying it in the best possible way, right? Because uh I love these books. They give me like a new perspective and I learn so much, and just like there's just so much we don't know, and these books kind of help me. And
What?
what
No, I'm just wanted to ask, what are you reading now?
what am I reading now? It's funny. um I literally just finished. I have a couple pages left in a book called Obstacle is the Way, by the way. uh so yeah, but it's like sometimes when I get too analytical with other people, because I love observing and I love like looking at people, how they communicate, the body language and everything. When I get too analytical, I do some like a love story or something. Just
yeah, you need a little bit of balance.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, so when would you say like was like the her take came into your mind? Because obviously like you were the one that like had her take kind of already building up like I don't know since when even, you know? So like maybe you can tell us like when was the first time you thought like okay, her take is gonna be a thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think after I graduated, you know how in America they always say, "Oh, you gotta go to these career fairs because you need connections, and then you're not gonna play forever, so you need to have some kind of like a thing." Obviously, that's in America, and my goal was to come and play in Europe. So my goal wasn't to stay in America. So after that, I had like different like thoughts about like what could we start early, while we're still playing, and then it can grow up to like kind of grow with us and become like a thing, like a business possibly. And I had like thoughts about like a podcast maybe, but they're like 4 or 5, bullet points that I had. And then when we had this talk, I remember this was in April, my first year of pro, and we had a phone call, and you were being pissed about how, in Europe there's no opportunities for girls, and like if there are, they're not being taken serious. And I was like, huh, okay, let me hold that thought. And then you started going to schools, and I was like, okay, like Digna is interested. Is Paula interested? And then we had that famous brunch where I wanted to show you, like, explain you guys what I had in mind. And, the rest is history. We're here, and 2 years. Yeah, 1.5, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building our community up, and like actually like right now in this point, like because we have a lot of talks also about like how we're trying to help these younger girls and like the young generation to like get to like the next level, and we're always talking about it like this is like a never ending process because we're still dealing with the things like that we are teaching these girls, and like we're talking about with these girls about it, and like we need that information as well. We need to grow and we need to learn because we're
It's,
going,
yeah, we
yeah, we're
literally
going,
grow with the platform, and we talk about the posts, we're like, shit, like, yes,
yeah.
like it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get knocked down, but still can get up,
Yeah,
Eh, like we say these things, but we learn through it too.
yeah.
So I think it's also a great way that's kind of like another way of growth mindset, no?
Exactly, exactly. And I feel like yeah, it has helped us a lot. Like I was just wanting to ask like if it has changed like, but I feel like it has changed it for all of us, like the perspective in life, like and when we're going through like our seasons and everything, I feel like we come back to like okay, like everybody is like going through it. We need to figure out how we're gonna get through this stuff, and like just small things that we can control, start with that, and then next thing, next thing, next thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you are more intentional about um, helping progress for other people, you're also more intentional about, okay, for your own progress itself, as well, like your mentality, like what I have to do to become a better player, a better person outside the court. You have to kind of practice what you preach.
Exactly.
We have like when we are talking about expanding our networks. For other people, we also have to be brave enough. Okay, we have to reach out. We have to send that email. We have to make that phone call, and you know making phone calls is not the most comfortable thing.
Exactly, exactly.
And all these little things, when we just step outside our comfort zone a little bit, we at the same time we find new ways of new ideas that's coming. I think that's the way how we started, like the idea of team platform started because we actually started this HerTake as an organization. And we want to not do just events, but we want to make something really tangible, and I
That
think
makes a
Alex,
difference. That
yeah,
makes
that
a
really does
difference.
make a difference. And Alex, that was, I think, I don't even know who started this idea, but I think it was your idea about how it would,
No, it
look
was
at.
all Alexa's idea. Like it was literally all. We were there like because we were so excited about it. But Alexa was the brains. Like she was like, okay, we're putting this, like there, and we're like, okay, it will fun work.
How do you
It
how do
will
you
work.
think how do you think if team would have existed when you chose your school or when we were choosing our school, what would that made any difference in your journey? What do you think?
Um, I think I think this kind of platform is, I mean, obviously, like we're the founders, but I think it's great because how do how do how do people know? For example, those coaches that don't recruit internationally, that don't travel to the championships, like how would they know that there is this one Paolo Strautman, that there's this one Digna Strautman, there's this one Aleksa Gulbe who wants to go to the States?
Exactly.
Like maybe, I would have more options, because I wasn't like I had letters at home, I was making phone calls, but I don't know, when I hear some people say, yeah, I have like, I don't know, 10 schools calling me here and there. Like I didn't have like 10, maybe like 5, 6. I don't know.
And
But
you're still the top player of your year, you know?
I,
Exactly.
I mean, so I think just having that exposure and the coaches knowing that you want to go and take that step of going across the ocean and, study and be a part of a program is that's something.
Yeah. Okay, so this is your favorite question in every life. Like, what would be your advice to your younger self and to the yo now growing?
Um, as as we're getting older, uh,
Girl!
no, but I think staying present, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, um, because there's another quote from a book. I don't know. I hopefully I cite it right, but um, the past, the the past is gone, the future never comes, and the present is a gift. Present gift, something like that. And just staying present and being in the moment because tomorrow really doesn't come. It's always the present is all we have, and this is the moment where we can actually change something about our journey and or something like that. So just being present, worry, like just thinking about myself and not caring too much what other people think of me.
Quotes on
Exactly.
quotes. Okay. We were thinking either to include this next part into the live or not, but I think it's very important that we also know answers to some of the most important questions we ask all our guests. So, are you, Alexa, ready for some quick fire questions?
Let's do it.
Okay. So, the first one, are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl, but I want to be a morning person.
Don't we all? Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify.
Ice cream or gelato?
Gelato.
I shouldn't say it right, probably. Texting or calling?
Lately, calling.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
Tough question. Pancakes.
Best arena you ever played at?
Ooh, that's tough. Well, Assembly Hall, we gotta, Indiana.
Mm.
But I think I really, really like the Michigan, where Michigan plays,
Okay.
I guess that arena. But yeah, next.
Okay. Better fans in Avenida or Zaragoza?
How about DVTK?
Oh.
Okay. Do you watch shows one episode at a time or you binge the whole seasons?
If I find something interesting, I'll probably binge it. Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather travel to the future or to the past?
Stay present.
stay present. But if I had to choose, okay, I guess future, but stay present.
Okay. If you could speak any language,
Stay present.
if you could speak any language fluently, what would it be?
Spanish.
Okay. What is the most beautiful place you ever visited?
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
You have traveled so much. Oh, what a problem to have.
What a problem to have, for real, for real. I can't remember now. I mean, Porto was pretty beautiful, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah,
Okay, for now we can keep that. That's a good
yeah.
answer. And what do you value most in your closest friendships?
Trust and
Mm.
truth. Trust and truth. The two T's.
Hey. So thank you very much. We just wanted to say, I mean, I could say for myself that there will be no one else I would rather do this whole journey with, to have you in my life, to call you my friend, you know,
All love, guys.
all
All love.
love. And yeah, I'm so excited that you had this idea of sharing the stories and that we started with yours, because people need to know, you know, we are trying to share the information, and I think once people understand us and where we are coming from better, then we can connect with more people.
I agree. I agree.
Yes, and again, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who is still listening. We have released our merch, as I'm wearing it now. Oh, deep in the paint. We're right here. So, well, also other things like it's a little personality merch as well for us. So, I think it's a great way how to get to know us and be connected with us. So that's one thing. The other thing is our platform team. If you're a player and you haven't signed up yet, and or a coach who hasn't signed up yet, like we really suggest you to do it, because we're trying to build this community to help players and coaches to find each other. So yeah, so we're working to help you all. So take it, you know, take it,
Just say.
just take from us what you can. And so yeah, I think, what else, anything else you girls want to say?
It's a good day. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see you in the next